In a sprawling city filled with towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, there was a hidden world that many chose to ignore, a world inhabited by the city's poorest and most vulnerable, including a humble beggar named Samuel. Samuel was a man in his 50s, though his weathered face and stooped shoulders made him appear older than his years. He had been a familiar presence on a street corner near a busy intersection for as long as anyone could remember. His clothing was ragged, and his only possessions were a tattered blanket and a small cardboard sign that read, "Anything helps." People passed Samuel by every day, caught up in the hurried pace of their lives. Some spared him a glance, others a sympathetic smile, and a few even dropped a coin or two into his outstretched cup. But for most, he was an invisible figure on the fringes of their consciousness. What most people didn't know was that Samuel had a story that spoke of hardship, loss, and the relentless struggle for survival. He had once been a thriving businessman with a loving wife and 2 children, but the cruel hand of fate had dealt him a series of devastating blows. The first blow came in the form of a sudden economic downturn that wiped out his small business and drained his savings. Forced to sell their modest home, Samuel, his wife Mary, and their children, Emily and James, found themselves homeless. They moved into a dilapidated shelter on the outskirts of the city. Life in the shelter was a daily battle for survival. Samuel and Mary took whatever odd jobs they could find, often working long hours for meager pay. Emily and James, who should have been in school, helped their parents by collecting recyclables and cans from the streets. But just as they were beginning to find a semblance of stability, tragedy struck once more. Mary fell seriously ill, and despite Samuel's desperate efforts to get her medical care, she passed away, leaving him heartbroken and alone with their 2 young children. With no family or friends to turn to, Samuel and his children faced the harsh reality of life on the streets. They slept in abandoned buildings, ate whatever scraps they could find, and relied on the kindness of strangers to survive. Samuel's once proud spirit was broken, and he took to begging to feed his children and keep them warm. As the years passed, Emily and James grew older and more resilient. Samuel, despite his own deteriorating health, did his best to provide them with whatever little comfort he could. They were a family bound by love and the determination to overcome their dire circumstances. One bitterly cold winter's night, as Samuel and his children huddled together for warmth, a young woman named Laura approached them. She was a social worker who had often seen them on the street corner and had long admired Samuel's unwavering devotion to his children. Laura offered to help the family find shelter, medical care, and a chance at a better life. Samuel was hesitant at first, fearing that their trust would be betrayed once more. But as he saw the genuine compassion in Laura's eyes, he knew he had to take the chance for the sake of his children. With Laura's support, Samuel, Emily, and James were placed in a shelter that provided them with a clean, safe place to stay. Samuel received medical treatment for his long-neglected health issues, and Emily and James were finally able to attend school. As the years went by, Samuel's family gradually rebuilt their lives. Emily excelled in her studies and dreamed of becoming a doctor, while James developed a passion for art. Samuel, once a proud businessman, found work as a mentor, helping others who had experienced homelessness. The story of Samuel and his family serves as a poignant reminder that behind every face on the street, there is a unique and complex story. It underscores the importance of compassion, empathy, and a helping hand in uplifting those who have fallen on hard times. Samuel, once a humble beggar, became a symbol of resilience and the enduring power of a family's love to overcome even the harshest of circumstances.